morning, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar about the T4B Toolbox and T4B ecosystem overall. Toolbox is what is it? It's a box of complete plugin management and a very important component of the whole Tools for Brokers ecosystem. My name is Anastasia Taganova, and I would be really glad to show you Toolbox and ecosystem and how these two things are transforming the way brokers manage their MetaTrader infrastructure. So before we get back to the point, let me also introduce our company, Tools for Brokers. We are the leading technical provider, and this year we are 15 years old. We celebrate our anniversary, and on our official website, we even have a separate dedicated page to the anniversary, where you can read some interesting stories of our colleagues, important milestones. You can even leave a wish on our birthday board. So if you have some couple of minutes of your free time, please visit that. I'm sure you'll love it. Overall, we are worldwide. We have 5 offices in different regions. We have more than 200 clients. And of course, we are famous for our technical support team, available 24/7. And what we do, what T4B is doing, we are building the T4B ecosystem. And that's the topic of our today's webinar, and in particular, T4B Toolbox. So over the next, I think, half an hour, because time is the most precious resource of our lives, we'll explore how our ecosystem approach improves your trading infrastructure. We'll discover some real case studies for different business models of brokers, and also we'll briefly cover top 10 game-changing features of Toolbox, which will, and you will understand why Toolbox is sort of the industry standard for plugin management. Also, before we begin, please feel free to use the chat for questions throughout the webinar, the presentation. We'll address them during our Q&A session at the end. So let me start with the fundamental, rhetoric, but still fundamental question, like how many different vendors are you currently using for your brokerage, for your trading infrastructure? Because usually how it works, you have a liquidity bridge from one provider, risk management from the second, and let's say client management from the third. When you want a PAM or copy trading or any bonus solution or risk management tool. And you may agree that this fragmented approach, it creates some issues or challenges in terms of integration, security inconsistencies, compatibility, or support complications. And that's why at Tools for Brokers, we've built something different, something unique on the market nowadays. A complete ecosystem where every component is designed to work together. And our ecosystem nowadays, at this moment, consists of 3 main pillars, which is a trade processor, our heart, our flagship product, multi-platform liquidity bridge, famous for its aggregation and risk management module. It's a T4B PAM, money management system to attract investors and experienced traders, and T4B Toolbox, centralized control and configuration of plugins for specific operational challenges, and our main guest of this webinar. So the key advantage of the ecosystem is compatibility by design. During this webinar, I will repeat the word ecosystem and toolbox many times, but these 2 words are important, so please forgive me. Let me show you how this ecosystem works in practice with 3 different case studies. We'll consider 3 different brokerages, 3 different business models. It's a retail broker, institutional or hedge fund, and a prop firm. These examples will demonstrate how the components of our ecosystem, in particular the trade processor, the bridge, plus specific plugins, solve different complex business goals. So let's get started. Our first guest is a retail broker, high volume retail broker based in Dubai. They have several servers, MT4 and MT5. MT4 is not very popular. It's decreasing its popularity, but MT5, it's quite new. and around 15,000 active, like really active traders. The main challenge of this broker was just we want risk management. We want to automate the risk management procedures. And another additional challenge was just to motivate traders to trade more, both on MT4 and MT5, but mainly for MT4. So our solution, how we contributed to that, it included the combo of 4 different tools. Of course, the bridge, the trade processor, it helped to handle different liquidities. The broker had 5 different liquidities. It was a hybrid mode, A book plus B book. So we helped to aggregate them. First of all, we enabled the auto switch between A book and B book, depending on certain triggers. So when there was a trigger based on, let's say, the difference adjustment in P&L for the position, there was an automated switch to A book. And also there was a trading data analysis, which helped this broker to analyze the trading activity, to analyze like the most famous popular symbols, overall the distribution of exposure. Then the dynamic leverage changer plugin that changed the leverage dynamically. We all know that in MT5, starting from last year, there is the functionality of dynamic leverage, but this solution is a bit of an advanced thing. So it automatically adjusts margin rate based on the traded volume of the account in lots or nominal cost, but we will not go into details. So this tool helped, on the one hand, encourage traders to trade more. On another hand, it just helped to reduce financial risks. Solution number 3, credit management. That's everything about the bonus campaign. And it's again a sort of a carrot and stick module. So you motivate traders to trade more. In this scenario, we implemented the bonus for the deposits, 1 bonus for the first deposit and then for subsequents. Also, there was a part for the volume, for the credit that was transferred to balance. So the more you trade, the more credit you get. And another thing, so that was a carrot, and about the stick, there were several conditions when a broker fully removed the credit. It's not only about stop out, it's about a specific level of equity, specific level of margin, and about the withdrawals. Yeah. And finally, last but not least, stop out plugin. It just helped to prevent catastrophic losses during high volatility periods like news with the help of advanced critical levels. Again, we have stop out in MT5, nothing new, and even in MT4, but this is a new level of changing the critical levels and parameters. As a result, what we have reduced manual tasks, obviously, and improvement in risk-adjusted profitability. After this plan, after this campaign, broker had more time for the marketing campaigns, for exploring new opportunities for the brokerage, let's say new platforms, new markets. So he put more efforts into the development, not just basic daily routines, technical. Okay, that was the retail broker. Guest number 2, institutional or hedge funds. This time, it's already EU-based. And what's important, they had MT5, but MT5 hedge fund license type. It's a bit different type with a very, very limited number of trading accounts that is possible there. That's important. So first of all, they had a complex multi-strategy system, which required sophisticated LP aggregation, and not even aggregation, but routing. So they had several, I would say even multiple LPs, and for them, it was important to easily and very fast to connect and disconnect liquidities, because they were testing some, maybe one of the LPs were not very enough for them, and they replaced them. Second challenge was about the procedure, the process of swap updates. They just were tired of that, and they just simply wanted to automate this procedure. Easy. And third challenge about the profit allocation. They did have a PAM system, a PAM solution, but they were not very satisfied with the profit allocation. They had several issues, so they were looking for alternative. The combo that we proposed, very obvious, trade processor, the bridge, it helped to route different liquidities, sometimes also aggregate. Our support team, like within a week, could replace one LP, change and add new ones. Second, swap changer plugin just automated the process easily. All you need to do is export and then import the file, and all the values of swaps were updated. Plus, one of the LPs of this broker was OKX. I think everyone familiar with that. So with OKX and some other liquidities, we have even a more advanced level of integration. You just need to connect to the cabinet of this liquidity, and the values are automatically updated. So you just don't need to work with the files anymore, with the tables. And finally, the PAM system. It's a PAM portal. Last quarter, we presented a new web interface, and the broker did like it a lot. Plus, that was the very convenient profit allocation, and for now, 0 manual errors in the commission calculations or profit allocation. Important thing, I mentioned that they had an MT5 hedge fund license. So there are about 50 only accounts. And the broker wanted all the investors to locate on the PAM only, so that the investors will have only PAM account, no MT5, not to take the space, the memory of MT5 server. And that's what we proposed. Investors were located solely in a PAM. Okay, and last but not least, our third guest, of course, the prop firm. The prop firm EU-based, MT5, rather new, but already 2,000 plus active traders. As every prop firm, they needed a strong performance tracking system and also risk management, obviously. How we contributed? Besides, one of the challenge was about the latency issues. So I'll start with this one. The latency issues were mainly solved not with a tool, but just with the help of the consultation from our tech team. We simply made some magic with their hosting environment. We changed the location of several servers on MT5, and from their LPs, we just recommended them to use different data centers. So the main goal was just to locate the whole infrastructure in one region and one access server in a different region where also there was a cluster of traders. So that was fixed faster. And then about the tool, that was a combo, and I personally call it a golden combo for any prop firm. All the clients, all the prop firms I know, they are using more or less the same functionality. So first of all, the bridge. And you may ask, why prop firm need a bridge? Because usually we're talking only about B-book. That's why. Nowadays, bridge is no longer just a bridge between a platform and the liquidity. It's much more. In this case, trade processor helped to optimize the B-book flow, first of all. Sometimes we were using a different execution type, so like the volume-weighted average price, to imitate the A-book execution on the challenges that are in the beginning. And then it helped them to detect toxic traders, arbitrage traders, and change their trading conditions automatically. That's with the help of our new model, BBI, Broker Business Intelligence. Then the next, stop out plugin. We talked about that before. This time, it was needed to check the equity, the daily and maximum equity drawdowns, two main parameters for the prop firms. Next one, copy trading. Of course, prop firm and copy trading are like brothers. Copy trading was needed to allow top performance of this firm to execute on the liquidity, plus at the same time accumulate orders and send to the LP as well. So there were different options. Overall, copy trading, it didn't have the web interface like a front end because it's not needed. It's done at the back end by the broker, by the prop firm. And finally, personally, my favorite product, I don't know why, just love it. REST API. REST API, of course, it's about automation for MT4 or MT5. So it automates the process of some actions that are on repeat and massive. Let's say massive registrations. And when we're talking about, I don't know, 500 registrations a day. And balance or withdrawal operations also. It helps to automate it very easily with several clicks. Besides, this REST API has a mode which is called pumping mode. So with this pumping mode, brokers, prop firms in our case, can track equity values, like in a real-time mode, and the quotes. So they get the ping every, I don't know, every second. So as a result, what we have? We have the reduction in risk management overhead. Some processes were fully automated, partially, but still it became like a full ecosystem, full structure. And zero negative balance incidents and implementation. That mainly thanks to Stop Out plugin. Okay, those were our three guests. Again, retail, hedge fund, prop firm. All of them are different, but still all of them need the very same functionality. So after the revision of these three cases, it's clear what made all this implementation successful. So first of all, ecosystem compatibility and no integration challenges. Second is, of course, unified management through T4B components. And thirdly, that's the consistent security and, of course, performance across all tools. So now that you understand our ecosystem approach, T4B ecosystem, and see how plugins solve specific problems, let me officially introduce T4B Toolbox. Remember that we don't give Toolbox separately without any plugins, because Toolbox is a convenient interface to manage plugins. Without them, it's nice, it's good looking, but it doesn't make sense. So the Toolbox currently provides management for over 30 solutions, 15 for MT4 and MT5, and they are presented in three main different categories. So automation, and we are talking about, for example, the swap updates procedures for classic or Islamic accounts, some corporate action like stock split, dividend payout, spin-off, and like automation as an example of REST API. We have a category for the risk management, quite massive cluster, about the leverage of changes of leverage, limiting trade when we're talking about scalpers, or you just need to limit the trade for several seconds during the news, or we're talking about negative balance reduction. And finally, client management. It's about copy trading, it's about rebate system for agents or IVs, and it's about bonus campaigns as a credit management. So let me show you how this works in practice. Yeah. What you're seeing here is the dashboard, is the web interface of the Toolbox. And if you ever worked with other components before, like trade processor or PAM system, you may notice the similarity in design. And to my personal perspective, that's a good thing, because we are people. And when we see something different, something unknown and unfamiliar, what is our first reaction? It's difficult, I don't understand, it's too complicated, no. Yeah. But with the interface that you already know, it's easier to navigate, it's easier to work, the process is smoother. So this is a homepage with the recent articles published, with the updates and new features of our product. So for example, when you see a feature that you want, all you need is to ask our support team to update to the recent stable version. There is a notification system. So you see the status of all the products. You get notifications in a real-time mode if anything is going wrong, but I hope no. You can access this from anywhere, your office, remote PC, I don't know, home, but I hope you don't work from home. And here's the main dashboard. Welcome to that. If you operate with different trading platforms, different servers, MT4, MT5, all you need is, of course, love, but all you need is Toolbox. All the solutions can be configured through one web interface. So if you operate, for example, with, I don't know, usually the setup is 2 servers, MT4, MT5, and 2 tools, let's say swap changer and stop out. Overall, it's 4 for MT4 and MT5. Everything can be done here. And instead of logging into different folders, different RDP files, because I remember the times when all these plugins were in a configuration file and you had to configure them manually as if you were a developer. The funny thing is, currently on the market, there are still such offers without any interface, any front end. This is interesting. So overall, all this eliminates the risk of missing critical configuration, first of all, and reduce operational complexity a lot. So we've got familiar with the interface, something external. Now let's talk about internal things of Toolbox, something we can't see, but sometimes even more important than the front end, than the external. One of the features I want to discuss is about security. Security isn't just the afterthought of T4B, because it's built in each and every layer. On the slide, you see only just several examples, because everything related to the sensitive data encryption, IP address whitelisting and restriction, monitoring, logging, some security updates, important feature about role-based access control. What does it mean? The users can have just different rights. For example, full admin, and they can configure all the plugins, they can access to all the solutions. It can be limited like an operator, only specific plugins, for example, only to MT4 or only to MT5. It can be read-only access, just to understand what's the current setup of the company, or just dashboard visibility only, to read articles, to read some updates, and see the status of all the solutions. So this granular control ensures that team members access only what they need to access. And you can create users, assign roles, and modify permissions in real time. The next feature is about the backup and recovery. And when we are talking about the backup, this feature has saved, well, I think numerous hours for our clients during the specific situations, let's say system migrations or some troubleshooting scenarios. Because the idea is that you can export settings of any plugin or application to create recovery points. So when some works are done, you can then restore to previous states. Easy and convenient. As for the logs, I think it was never as easy to work with logs as now with the Toolbox, because you can filter them by different parameters. You can download them as a document and read them carefully. Set up real-time alerts for critical events in the login, and search through historical data. Before, I never saw a person who likes reading logs, but now even I love it, really, because it's really convenient and you really can understand what are these logs about. Nice. And finally, my favorite part, last but not least, of course, tools are tools. Solvers are solvers. Toolbox is toolbox. But what is important is who is with you during the process when you get to know with the product, during the process when you work with this product. Because again, we are people. And when we meet with something unknown, let's say product, program, procedure, a hobby, first reactions is a hesitation. We are nervous. We don't know what to do. And it's important to have somebody who will guide you, who will help you. At Toolsworkers, we have 2 superhero teams. One is a client success management, because every T4B client has a dedicated client success manager who arranges private educational sessions, called quarterly calls, workshop, custom training, lots of stuff. So this is the first person you meet after the business developer who will guide you into the world of your solutions, who will sit with you hours so that you will fully understand the functionality. And the second team is our technical team, 24/7 across multiple time zones. Every minute there is somebody who will assist you. We have at Toolbox, we have different lines of support for different tasks from our clients. Troubleshooting, like deep research investigation, configuration optimization, performance analysis, all of that. And metrics of our support team speaks for themselves. Like client satisfaction over 97%. I don't know who is this 3%. I think it should be 100. Joking. So let me quickly recap what we've demonstrated today. We almost done, as I mentioned, half an hour. So we were talking about the T4B ecosystem and its components, and mainly, of course, about the T4B Toolbox, the plugin management system, when you have one dashboard, one single point of access for all the solutions for different platforms and different servers. You can have different users with different roles so that not to mix up or mess up something in the configuration and the setup. It is possible to integrate, and it's a full compatibility between all of them: bridge, PAM, risk management, copy trading, bonus, all of that. We have these two teams with the client success and technical team who is here for you and with you every day, 24/7. Yeah, and this represents a fundamental shift from, again, the fragmented approach that we see on the market currently to a unified, secure, and efficient operational framework. So before we proceed, let me switch to a different one. Before we wrap up and switch to the Q&A session, I'm excited to offer something exclusive to everyone joining us live today, and maybe for those who will watch the recording a bit later. So I've prepared 5 slots for personal one-on-one sessions or consultations where we'll dive deep into your current setup or trading infrastructure that you have, and we'll just explore areas for improvement, because nobody is perfect. Always there is a one thing that can be even improved. So I'll just share the expert insights based on the current industry trends, and also share the examples of the setup from other brokers who successfully manage their trading structure with the solutions we described today. So these spots are limited. If you're ready to have I think 1 hour would be enough. It's only this week or next, only these 2 weeks. Just connect me in a LinkedIn or send an email, and we'll schedule the session. Okay, but now I'm opening a floor for your questions. See, we already have several in the chat. So let me just start addressing them one by one, okay? Okay, can I use plugins with the CTrader? Thank you for your question. The T4B Toolbox is compatible with the solutions for MetaTrader solidly, which is MT4 and MT5. However, let's say our trade processor, it's a multi-platform, so you can use it with any platforms you want. CTrader, MatchTrader, DXTrade, or any other platform using the fixed API connection. Besides, the functionality of several plugins can be copied in the bridge. So we can prepare the setup so it would look similar. But with different trading platforms, Toolbox unfortunately doesn't work. Second question. What happens if the server is off? If the server is down? Will the data be lost? For example, the copy trading or bonus solution. It's a good question, really, because everything can happen. Servers, they are machines, they are not human. If the server is off, obviously Toolbox is off and the application, there is a special parameter which track the historical data when the application or the solution was off. So once we enable the Toolbox or, for example, the plugin, it tracks all the data that was done during this period of being off. So, for example, if we are talking about the bonus system, like credit management, all the credits would be deposited or deposited to balance, or the credit would be removed. Depends on the conditions. If it's a copy trading, there is also a special parameter to copy on the startup. So once the app is available, it checks the data that was before. So again, no worries, no need to worry. A third question, do you provide an API for the integration? Yes, we do. Everything which is possible to do with the Toolbox is possible to do with the API that we provide. This is the Swagger file. I think everyone who works with API knows it. So you can configure the Toolbox separately. You can create rules for every plugin or application which is in a Toolbox. So again, yes, it's possible. If you want to create your own design, your own dashboard, instead of the Toolbox, easy peasy. Thank you very much for your questions. Those were very, very good ones. Thank you for joining today's session. And remember that Tools for Brokers' strength isn't in individual products, as you may notice. It's about the complete ecosystem and complete ecosystem approach. So we'll be sending a recording of today's webinar later, as well as the article with the summary. So have a great rest of the day, and we look forward to helping you transform your brokerage and your trading infrastructure. Have a great day. Happy International Day of Beauty. All the best. Bye-bye.